Lawyers. What would receipts reveal about child support? Story 1. Why child support accountability sounds good but isn't. Parents should prove how they spend child support money. Sounds reasonable, right? Until you think about it for 5 seconds. Then the whole idea collapses faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. This is one of those concepts that's good in theory, nightmare in practice, like communism, or juice cleanses, or deciding to reorganize your garage on a Saturday morning. It starts with good intentions and ends with you crying in a pile of old Christmas decorations, wondering where it all went wrong. First, let's talk enforcement. How exactly would this work? Special child support-only debit cards? Separate receipts for every purchase? Would parents need to divide their grocery cart into 2 sections? Ma'am, these bananas, which ones are for the child and which are for you? Well, we both eat bananas. I'm going to need separate receipts. Imagine standing at checkout, sorting items. Okay, put the kids' cereal on the child support card. My coffee goes on my personal card. Wait, we share the milk? What's the protocol here? The bureaucracy alone would cost more than the actual support payments. Courts can barely handle current cases. Judges are already overworked, underpaid, and dealing with actual crimes. Now we want to add receipt audits? Your Honor, we need to discuss the defendant's purchase of name-brand peanut butter. I have 6 murder trials this month. But the peanut butter! Plus, who decides what's appropriate spending? Is name-brand cereal financial abuse? Are generic shoes neglect? Is buying your kid a birthday present at Target instead of the dollar store grounds for contempt of court? You'd need an entire government department just to create guidelines. The Department of Cereal Justification, the Bureau of Shoe Acceptability, the Office of Birthday Present Reasonable Standards. Then there's the actual cost. Every receipt audit needs judges to review, clerks to file, lawyers to argue, accountants to verify, probably therapists for everyone involved. The taxpayers would fund millions in infrastructure to monitor whether someone bought Cheerios or store brand. That's government efficiency at its finest. And let's be real about who's proposing this. It's never the parent paying adequate support on time. It's always the one who thinks their ex is living like a Kardashian on $400 a month. She has a new purse. That's my money. Sir, that's from Target. Target? Why not Goodwill? The system would collapse under the weight of petty complaints before the first quarterly report was due. Family courts would transform into financial auditing firms. Judge Judy would need a CPA license. Some ideas sound smart until you try to implement them. This is definitely one of those ideas. It's right up there with, let's all be honest on social media, and maybe this time the printer will work without issues.
Story 2. The Cereal Wars. Former family law worker here. Want to know why we don't require child support accountability? Because people are insanely petty. Not regular petty, advanced petty. PhD in petty from Petty University with a minor in vindictive. She bought Cheerios instead of store brand. That's my money being wasted. You think I'm exaggerating? I'm not. I've seen grown adults spend $500 in legal fees to argue over $50 in groceries. The math doesn't math, but spite doesn't calculator. Here's my situation. My ex asks for support early sometimes. Valid reasons usually. School fees, new shoes, the kid grew 3 inches overnight and nothing fits. But I also know she spends on entertainment, then realizes she can't make rent. So she's the fun parent taking kids to movies and amusement parks while I'm taking kids to free library events. Again. Hey kids, who wants to learn about the Dewey Decimal System? Anyone? Anyone? But here's the thing. Imagine if I could legally challenge every purchase. The court system would implode from pure pettiness. It would be like Black Friday at Walmart, but with lawyers. Your Honor, she bought my son Nike shoes. And? He could have worn Skechers. Sir, that's not. I demand justice. Maybe some magic debit card system? But then what? Separate shopping trips? These groceries are child support groceries. These are my groceries. Picture this. Single mom at grocery store with 2 carts, sorting every item. Apples for Johnny go in cart A. Wine for surviving Johnny's teenage years goes in cart B. The checkout line would take 3 hours. Best suggestion from the 600 replies to my original post? When X asks for money early, buy what's needed directly and deduct from next payment. Genius! You need shoes? Here's shoes. That's $50 off next month. Problem solved. But no, people want receipts. They want audits. They want to know if that box of crackers was name brand or generic, and by God, they will spend thousands in court fees to find out. The themes from 600 replies were predictable. Yes, it's 2017. We should have the technology. We have the technology to colonize Mars, too. Doesn't mean we should. No, current child support departments are bunged up enough. Understatement of the century. People are petty. Shocking revelation. Make the audit requester pay costs. Now we're talking. Oh, and someone mentioned an artichoke sculpture. Because of course they did. This is Reddit. There's always an artichoke sculpture. The truth is, we already have a system for parents who misuse support. It's called reporting neglect. If kids don't have food, clothes, shelter, that's actionable. If kids have all that, but mom also bought herself a latte, that's called being human while parenting.
Story 3. The impossible math. How exactly would you separate child support money from regular money? Money is fungible. That means once it hits the account, it's all just money. It's like trying to separate water after you've poured 2 glasses into 1 pitcher. Hold on, cashier. Ring up these Hot Pockets on the child support card. But this wine goes on my personal card. Ma'am, the Hot Pockets and wine are in a meal deal together. Then what do I do? Q breaks down. Society collapses. Let's think through the logistics. Parent receives $500 in child support. They also earn $2,000 from work. Total account, $2,500. They spend $300 on groceries. Which dollars bought the groceries? The child support dollars? The work dollars? The dollars are all mixed together like a financial smoothie. Plus, imagine the nightmare scenarios. Generic versus name brand debates. Your Honor, she bought Kraft mac and cheese when store brand exists. Healthy food versus junk food. She bought Oreos. Children should only eat vegetables. Entertainment necessities. Movies aren't necessities. Have you met a teenager without entertainment? They turn feral. The categories alone would destroy us. Is toothpaste for the child or parent? What if they share? Do we need separate toothpastes? What about toilet paper? Your Honor, the child only contributed to 23% of toilet paper usage this month based on my bathroom logs. Nobody's getting rich off child support. Most are just trying to keep lights on, kids fed, and maintain sanity. The average child support payment is $430 monthly. That's not yacht money. That's hope the car doesn't break down money. The real issue isn't accountability. It's bitter exes who think their former partner is living large off their contribution. They picture their ex lounging poolside with cocktails, fanned by servants, laughing about the child support check. Reality? Their ex is at Target, arguing with a 6-year-old about why they can't have Pokémon cards this week, trying to make $430 stretch to cover new shoes, school supplies, and groceries. But I need Charizard. You need shoes that fit. Shoes are temporary. Charizard is forever. This idea comes from bitter exes, not genuine concern for children. It's revenge, disguised as responsibility. I can't control you anymore, but maybe I can control your grocery choices. The custodial parent juggles bills, schedules, homework, activities, doctor appointments, emotional breakdowns, theirs and the kids, and somehow keeps everyone alive. The last thing they need is receipt audits from someone who sees the kids every other weekend and thinks parenting is taking them to McDonald's. How was your weekend with Dad?
Great, we had ice cream for breakfast. Of course you did. Story 4. The Welfare Queen Myth 2.0. Someone always brings up the welfare queen with 6 kids and new iPhone story. Always. It's like an internet law. Mention child support, and someone will trot out this tired stereotype. My friend works at pregnancy clinic, sees these land whales with like 5 or 6 misbehaved kids. Don't work, live off child support, newest phones, fresh nails, kids suffering, popping out kids for money. Sure, Jan. Let's examine this fairy tale. These stories always follow the same template. Multiple kids, always 5, 6, never 4 or 7. Overweight, because fat shaming makes the story believable. Latest phones, the universal symbol of undeserving poor. Fresh nails, the audacity of self-care. Kids neglected while mom lives large. Popping out kids for money, because pregnancy is so fun and profitable. Sure, Jan. Let's examine this fairy tale. These stories always follow the same template. Multiple kids, always 5, 6, never 4 or 7. Overweight, because fat shaming makes the story believable. Latest phones, the universal symbol of undeserving poor. Fresh nails, the audacity of self-care. Kids neglected while mom lives large. Popping out kids for money, because pregnancy is so fun and profitable. Know what's missing? Actual numbers. Let's do the math these storytellers never do. Child support for 6 kids from different fathers might total $2,000 to $3,000 monthly if she's lucky and they all pay. Spoiler, they don't. Costs for 6 kids. Food, $1,200 plus monthly. Clothes, $300 plus monthly. School supplies, $100 plus monthly. Medical copays, $200 plus monthly. Everything else, your soul. Nobody's buying Lamborghinis on child support. They're buying bulk pasta and praying the washing machine survives another month. But the iPhone? Okay, let's talk about the phone. You know what's required for modern life? A phone. For job applications, school communications, emergencies. Maybe she has an iPhone 6 from 2014. Maybe it's a payment plan. Maybe, wild thought, poor people deserve communication devices too. But her nails, God forbid a mother of 6 treat herself to one nice thing. $30 nails once a month while managing 6 kids? That's not excess, that's therapeutic necessity. The truth? Yes, some people abuse the system. Some people also fake disabilities, commit tax fraud, lie about their golf handicap, take 2 samples at Costco when the sign clearly says 1. We don't redesign entire systems based on outliers. We don't make everyone pee in a cup because someone somewhere might be on drugs. Most single parents are drowning, not living it up. They're performing daily miracles making ends meet. But those stories don't generate the same outrage. Single mom responsibly budgets child support doesn't get clicks. Land whales with smartphones is just welfare queens with a software update. Same prejudice, new iPhone. Same lack of empathy, fresh packaging. The people telling these stories never mention the fathers. Where are these 5 to 6 dads? Why aren't they parenting? Why is it only the mother's fault for popping out kids? Takes 2 to tango, but only 1 gets blamed for the dance. Story 5. The second-hand shoe scandal. My friend's dad perfectly demonstrates why accountability laws would be horrific. This man turned child support into psychological warfare, and he didn't even need receipts to do it. Kid gets new shoes. Normal purchase, right? Kids grow, feet get bigger, shoes wear out. Basic parenting stuff. Dad throws a fit. Second hand is enough. This from a man wearing $300 loafers. His shoes cost more than a month of child support, but his kid should shop at Goodwill. But wait, it gets worse. He refused to pay for Boy Scout camp. That's a vacation. I don't pay for vacations. Bike repairs. He can walk. Exercise builds character. School field trips. Educational? That's what classroom is for. New backpack when the old one broke. Duct tape exists. Winter coat. Layer up. We had one coat growing up. This is with current laws. No receipt requirements, no auditing. Just a bitter man weaponizing money against his own child. Now imagine if he could legally challenge every expense. Your Honor, she bought him name-brand sneakers. They were on sale. Sale? Goodwill doesn't have sales. It's already discounted. His feet could fit in newspaper if needed. The kid needs therapy now. Not because of the divorce, kids survive that, but because his father treated child support like a corporate expense account audit where every penny spent on his happiness was waste. Dad, can I join the school band? Does it cost money? There's a rental fee for instruments. Then no, sing. Singing is free. Some parents already weaponize money against their kids. They measure love in dollars saved, not smiles created. Don't give them legal backing to make it worse. That boy learned his father valued saving $20 more than his happiness. He learned wanting new shoes made him greedy. He learned his needs were negotiable, his wants were irrelevant. These dads would make their kids submit receipt requests for birthday cake. Cake is not essential nutrition. Request denied. Here's a banana. Happy birthday. The secondhand shoes weren't about money. Dad had money. It was about control. About making sure mom knew every dollar was grudgingly given. About making sure the kid knew he wasn't worth new shoes. But maybe he couldn't afford. No, stop. He drove a BMW. He golfed at the country club. He could afford new shoes for his growing child. He chose not to. This is what accountability laws enable. Not responsible spending, just more creative cruelty from people who see child support as punishment, not parenting.
Story 6. The Reasonable X. Rare perspective incoming. I pay my daughter's father support and trust him completely. No receipt requests, no interrogations, no passive-aggressive texts about grocery choices. Shocking, I know. A functional co-parenting relationship. We're like unicorns, mythical but occasionally real. If their household struggles, my daughter struggles too. She's part of that family. That's just reality. When rent goes up, utilities increase, or car needs repairs, that affects my kid. The money helps the whole household stay stable. But what if he spends it on himself? So what? He's raising my daughter daily. Homework help, midnight nightmares, teenage mood swings, driving to practices, cooking meals, laundry mountains, that's worth more than any check I write. If he became genuinely irresponsible, racking up gambling debts, addiction issues, spending recklessly while kids go without, that's different. That's when you petition for custody changes, not expense reports. But nickeling and diming every purchase, that helps nobody, especially not the kid. Mom, why does Dad need receipts for my cereal? Because he thinks I'm stealing. Are you? No, sweetie, he's just angry. Oh, can I have therapy? The money is to support the household my child lives in, period. Not to control my ex's life through financial surveillance. Not to win the divorce retroactively through grocery audits. Radical concept. Trust that most parents want what's best for their kids. If they don't, that's a custody issue, not an accounting issue. Courts exist for real problems, not power trips. My daughter's happiness matters more than knowing exactly which dollars bought her lunch. Her stability matters more than my need for control. Her childhood matters more than my leftover anger. Sometimes the best thing divorced parents can do is act like adults. Wild concept, I know. Revolutionary even. But it beats turning your kid's childhood into a financial audit. How was Dad's house? Good. We had pizza and watched movies. That's nice, honey. See? No interrogation needed. No receipt requested. Just normal. Because that's what kids need. Normal. Not parents who track every penny like forensic accountants hunting for fraud. My ex and I aren't friends. We don't hang out. But we both love our daughter more than we dislike each other. That's the bare minimum for co-parenting, and somehow it's still rare. Trust. It's cheaper than lawyers and better for kids. Try it sometime.
Story 7. Courts can't babysit your receipts. The court system is already overwhelmed. Judges handling murder trials, custody battles, domestic violence cases. Now add receipt auditing for millions of child support cases? Your Honor, we need to discuss the defendant's purchase of organic milk. I literally have a murder trial after this. But the milk wasn't on sale. Judges would need to review grocery receipts. Was that steak necessary? Clothing receipts. Target versus Walmart. Entertainment receipts. Movies, luxury, or childhood necessity. School supply receipts. Name brand glue sticks. Every single purchase. The court backlog would stretch to infinity. Murder trials postponed so Judge Johnson can determine if goldfish crackers are an acceptable snack purchase. Plus, there's an insulting presumption here that custodial parents are probably misusing funds. Guilty until proven innocent via receipts. Current system, assume people are decent unless proven otherwise. Proposed system, everyone's a thief until receipts prove different. But what about accountability? We have accountability. It's called children are fed, clothed, and sheltered. If those needs are met, the system works. If not, that's neglect, already illegal, already actionable. We should only monitor after misconduct is shown. Like how we don't make everyone take breathalyzers to start their cars. Only people with DUIs. We don't audit everyone's taxes, only those showing signs of fraud. The courts have real problems to solve. Domestic violence, child abuse, custody violations, actual crimes. Whether your ex bought name brand mac and cheese isn't one of them. Resources are finite. Every hour spent reviewing grocery receipts is an hour not spent on actual abuse cases. Every dollar spent on receipt audits is a dollar not spent on child welfare. But I just want to know. No, you want control. Different thing entirely. You had control during marriage. That ended. Accept it. Judges aren't your personal accountants. Courts aren't your revenge venue. Child support isn't your control mechanism. The system works when we let it. Feed kids, house kids, clothe kids. Everything else, not the court's problem, not the judge's concern, not worth the taxpayer money to investigate. Some people can't handle that. They need receipts like they need oxygen. They'd rather spend thousands on lawyers than accept their ex bought ice cream. Those people are why we can't have nice things, or efficient courts, or sanity.
Story 8. The Ashtray Wars. Peak divorce pettiness. Couple spent thousands on lawyers fighting over one shitty ashtray. Not a Ming Dynasty artifact, not great-grandma's heirloom. A regular, ugly, probably from a garage sale ashtray. It has sentimental value, they both cried, writing checks to lawyers who bill $300 an hour. The husband finally wins after months of legal battles. Victory is his. The ashtray is won. Justice prevails. Know what he does? Smashes it on the courthouse steps while ex-wife watches. He spent thousands of dollars, months of litigation, countless hours of lawyer time, court resources, judges' patience, all to destroy something worthless just so she couldn't have it. Chef's kiss to pettiness. This is who would be filing child support audits. People who pay the equivalent of a car down payment to destroy an ashtray out of spite. Now imagine giving these people legal grounds to challenge every cent of child support spending. Your Honor, she bought 2-ply toilet paper. And single-ply would suffice. That's my money being wasted on luxury bathroom tissue. Sir, this is the 7th toilet paper hearing this month. I have spreadsheets. The ashtray story shows what people become in family court. Rational humans transform into spite-fueled vengeance machines. Love turns to hate. Shared memories become weapons. Ashtrays become symbols worth thousands. They'd rather burn money on lawyers than let their ex have peace. These are not rational actors. These are people who've replaced love with spite as their primary emotion. Why did you spend $5,000 on lawyers for a $5 ashtray? It's not about the ashtray. Then what? It's about winning. That's who wants receipt audits. People who see divorce as war and child support as continued battle. They don't care about the kids' well-being. They care about control, winning, making their ex suffer. The ashtray is gone, but the lawyer bills remain. The marriage is over, but the hatred lives forever. The kids watched their parents spend their college funds on garbage out of spite. But sure, let's give these people more ammunition. Let's let them audit groceries with the same passion they brought to ashtray litigation. What could go wrong? Narrator? Everything. Everything could go wrong.
Story 9. Welcome to Petty Court. Family Court, where you'll find the grand champions of petty, the Olympic athletes of spite, the PhD holders in advanced vindictiveness. Not everyone, let's be clear. Some people divorce gracefully. They exist. I've heard stories, like Bigfoot sightings. But the worst of humanity congregates in family court like wasps to a picnic. Except the picnic is human misery, and the wasps have lawyers. Real examples from the Petty Hall of Fame. The dog assassin fought viciously for dog custody, won after expensive legal battle, had dog euthanized 1 week later. Not because dog was sick, because ex loved that dog. If I can't have Mr. Fluffkins, no one can. The furniture destroyer, rather than split furniture, destroyed everything with a sledgehammer. Sent photos to ex. Here's your half of the couch. Pile of splinters. The lawn ornament war. 6-month battle over garden gnome. Garden gnome. Spent $8,000 in legal fees. Gnome worth $12 at Home Depot. The photo album hostage. Held childhood photos ransom. Want pictures of your dead mother? Give me the TV. Special place in hell reserved. The coffee maker custody. Joint custody of coffee maker. Week on, week off. Had to meet in parking lot for coffee maker exchanges. This went on for 2 years. These people will find depths of low you didn't know existed. There is no bottom. It's pettiness all the way down. Your Honor, she's using my Netflix password. Change the password? That's not the point. Now imagine giving them forensic accounting powers over their ex's spending. They'd subpoena grocery store security footage to prove the Oreos weren't for the kids. Exhibit A. Security footage showing defendant eating 3 Oreos while child had only 1. Those were my Oreos. Aha! Confession of theft. Family court already brings out the worst in people. It's like full moon for werewolves, except instead of growing hair, people grow spite. Don't arm them with financial auditing requirements. There's no depth too low when spite replaces sense. People who'll kill pets out of anger shouldn't have more legal weapons. People who spend thousands on gnome litigation don't need receipt oversight. The pettiness is already nuclear. Don't give them more bombs. Story 10. The Balto Betrayal. This one breaks my heart every time. During nasty divorce, mom sees her 6-year-old son struggling. His favorite movie? Balto. So she does what good moms do, gets him a husky puppy that looks just like Balto. Kid was ecstatic. Finally, something good in the chaos. Boy and dog become inseparable. Dog helps him cope with parents screaming about who gets the blender. Dad's response? Does he think, great, my son is happy? Does he appreciate mom helping their child through trauma? No. He claims huskies are aggressive breeds. Mom's home is now unsafe. files emergency custody modification. Mom faces impossible choice. Keep dog, lose custody, or lose dog, keep son. She surrenders the dog to shelter. The dog ended up with my friend. Years later, the kid still visits to walk him. Imagine, years later, still visiting the dog Dad made Mom give up. That's not moving on. That's heartbreak. Hi, can I walk Storm today? Of course, buddy. He misses you. Kid hugs dog like lost family. Because that's what Storm is. Family Dad weaponized in court. This man used his son's emotional support animal as a legal weapon, turned a puppy into a pawn, made his kid choose between mom and dog. These are the people who would abuse financial accountability laws. She spent money on dog food for the family pet. That's not approved childcare expense. I demand reimbursement. Some humans shouldn't be given more legal ammunition. They already cause enough damage with what they have. The happy ending? Kid still sees his dog, has to bike 3 miles to a stranger's house, but he does it, because that dog matters more than Dad's pride. The dad? Probably alone somewhere, Googling aggressive goldfish breeds for his next custody modification. Your Honor, the betta fish promotes violence. When you weaponize your kid's happiness, you lose. Even if you win legally, you lose. That boy will remember who took his dog. He'll remember who fought for his smile and who fought against it. But sure, let's give these people receipt auditing power. I'm sure they'll use it responsibly, just like they used the dog responsibly. Narrator, they would not use it responsibly. Story 11. The Ultimate Spite. Local case that destroyed my faith in humanity. Someone ran over the pet so their ex couldn't have it. Let that sink in. Murdered an animal rather than share custody. If I can't have Fluffy, no one can. Vroom. Horrific squish. Got 2-year suspended sentence and 10-year ban from owning ATS. Should have gotten life in prison because that's serial killer behavior with training wheels. This person valued winning over a living creature's life. Looked at a pet, something that loved unconditionally, and chose murder over compromise. Your Honor, I had no choice. You literally had every other choice. But my ex would have won. This is why I have no faith in humanity. People who'd kill Fluffy out of spite would definitely abuse financial oversight laws. Can't prove those groceries were 100% for the child? Contempt of court. She bought cat food. We don't have a cat. The neighbor's cat visits sometimes. Fraud, theft, misuse of funds. We can't have nice things because some people's pettiness has no limits, including vehicular pet homicide. The scariest part? This person probably thought they won. They kept their ex from having the pet. Victory achieved. Morality optional. Somewhere in their twisted mind, I showed them. They wanted the cat, but I sure fixed that. Now no one has the cat. I'm so smart. These people walk among us. They have jobs. They vote. They might be your neighbor. And some galaxy brain wants to give them financial auditing power? Your Honor, I ran over the groceries so my ex couldn't have them. What? If I can't approve the food purchases, no one eats. When you're willing to commit pet murder over custody, you've lost the plot. You've lost your humanity. You've lost everything worth keeping. But at least you won, right? At least your ex didn't get the cat. Hope that keeps you warm at night in your empty house with your empty soul. Judge stares in horror. I'm increasing your sentence and ordering therapy. So much therapy.
Story 12. The $10,000 Fish Massacre. Buckle up for this one. Friend breeds discus fish professionally. If you don't know discus, they're the Ferraris of freshwater fish. Breeding pair, $500 plus. Some rare strains hit $1,000 plus.
This isn't, oh, he has some fish. This is a business. Years of selective breeding, genetic lines, temperature controls, pH monitoring. It's science meets art meets commerce. He had 75 juveniles growing out. Potential value $10,000 plus. His entire income source. Then came the fight with girlfriend. Don't even remember what about. Something stupid, probably. Dishes, texting, who knows, who cares? She storms out that night. He figures they'll talk tomorrow, make up, normal couple stuff. Next day, roommate lets her in while he's at work. She goes straight to the fish room. 20 tanks of carefully maintained breeding stock, years of work. She pours bleach in every single tank. The pH skyrockets, fish gasping, dying, floating. Years of careful breeding destroyed in minutes, genetic lines ended, income obliterated. $10,000 gone. But worse, the breeding pairs stopped breeding. The shock destroyed their systems. Even survivors were ruined. He tries to sue. Judge's response? Frivolous lawsuit. They're just fish. Just fish? That's like burning down someone's food truck and saying, just cooking equipment. Destroying someone's craft studio and saying, just art supplies. It was his livelihood. Took 2 years and crowdfunding to rebuild. Friends pitched in because the justice system failed. Community stepped up where courts stepped down. Why didn't he have cameras? Why didn't he lock the door? Why did he date someone capable of this? Victim blaming. The answer is, people don't expect their partners to commit biological warfare on their income source. But sure, let's give exes more power to destroy each other through courts that think killing someone's business is frivolous if the business involves fish. Next headline, woman burns down ex's dog grooming business. Judge rules just dogs and dismisses case. The judge probably spent more on his lunch than understanding this man's devastation. Probably had sushi for lunch, the irony. Just fish? Tell that to the bills. Tell that to the 2 years of rebuilding. Tell that to the genetic lines that took decades to develop and seconds to destroy. She's probably out there now dating someone new. Yeah, my ex had fish. I'll like fish. Nervous laughter from new boyfriend. Run, dude, run. Story 13. The Self-Defeating Dog Battle. My ex-husband's first divorce was a masterclass in self-destruction. Let me paint this picture of financial stupidity. Man loves dog. Wife gets dog in initial separation. Man decides, not on my watch. Hires lawyer. Good lawyer. Expensive lawyer. $300 hour lawyer. Lawyer says, this will be expensive. Man says, I don't care. I want my dog. First month, $3,000 in legal fees. Second month, $3,500, motion filing time. Third month, can't pay lawyer. Lawyer, pay me or I stop working. Man, but the dog. Lawyer, pay me. Man scrambles, borrows from family, maxes credit cards, sells his good TV, gets payday loan, 30% interest because why not make it worse? Pays lawyer. Case continues, more motions, more hearings, shared custody of dog proposals, weekend visitation schedules for a dog. Finally wins. Dog is his. Victory! Justice! Bankruptcy! Then reality hits. All that debt means he can't afford his apartment. Has to downsize. New place? No pets allowed. So he gives dog away. To his brother, who's allergic. Spent $15,000 plus to win a dog he kept for 2 weeks. This is the decision-making we'd be auditing with child support accountability. People who financially ruin themselves out of spite then make worse decisions to fix the first bad decision. Your Honor, she bought the kid Nike instead of Skechers. Proceeds to spend $5,000 on legal fees over $50 shoes. Thank God this man never reproduced. Imagine fighting over actual children with this level of strategic thinking. I spent $50,000 to win full custody. Great. How will you afford to raise them? I'll figure that out later. By the way, I married him after knowing this story. Because apparently, I also make great decisions. At least our divorce was simpler. No pets to fight over. We'd learned that lesson. Or he had. I just had terrible judgment. Red flag? I thought it was a festive banner. His financial recovery took 3 years. The dog lived happily with the brother, who took allergy meds. The ex-wife got a cat. Everyone lost, except the lawyers. Tale as old as time.
Story 14. The Support Worksheet Wisdom. Worked extensively in family court. Know why every state uses standardized child support formulas instead of case-by-case negotiations? Because without them, every divorce becomes World War III over pennies. Before standardized formulas, hearings went like this. He should pay $1,000. She only needs $200. My child needs food. Rice and beans are food. My child deserves nutrition. Nutrition is a luxury. Judge drinks heavily. 6-hour hearings to determine support. Experts called to testify about the cost of raising children. Spreadsheets, receipts. Grocery store managers subpoenaed to discuss cereal prices. The formulas aren't perfect, but they're better than, he should only pay for beans and rice. She shouldn't get money because she has a job. Child support should exclude entertainment. Clothes from Goodwill only. 1 meal a day builds character. These worksheets were designed by people who watched exes fight over calculator batteries. They watched grown adults spend thousands arguing over $50. They saw families destroyed by arguments over whether orange juice was a luxury. But the formula doesn't consider. No, it doesn't. That's the point. One formula. Input income, input custody time, output number. No negotiations about every expense. No philosophical debates about the necessity of birthday parties. Just math. But what if she wastes? Not the court's problem. But I want to know. No. But math has spoken. It's the best solution in a world where grown adults will spend $10,000 arguing over $100, where people need spreadsheets to prove their children deserve new shoes, where love dies and is replaced by Excel formulas. Sometimes boring bureaucracy saves us from ourselves. The worksheet doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care that you're angry. It doesn't care that you think your ex is Satan incarnate. It just calculates. That's the beauty of it. Cold, impartial math preventing hot, partial humans from destroying each other financially over whether kids need name-brand backpacks. The formula says $430, but I think the formula has spoken. Can we negotiate? Would you like to negotiate with math? Been in court when judges shut down these arguments. Beautiful to watch. Sir, I don't care if you think $430 is too much. The formula says $430. Pay $430. Next case. Efficiency. Beauty. Sanity. Because the alternative is letting people like Ashtray Warrior and Dog Murderer negotiate child support. That way lies madness, and bankruptcy, and children eating nothing but spite sandwiches. Story 15. The Parenting Time Punishment. Let me explain something that shouldn't need explaining, but here we are. Child support and visitation are separate issues. The money is for the kid. Period. Full stop. End of sentence. Close the book. Go home. But watch how petty it gets. You're late on support? No visitation. But I lost my job. No kid for you. Or the reverse. You won't let me see them? No money. The court ordered. No cash for you. Both illegal, both common. Both hurt kids who did nothing wrong except have parents who can't adult. Indiana counts overnight stays in support calculations. Makes sense, right? More nights, more costs.
Adjust support accordingly. Now watch humans ruin it. I want Tuesday nights. Why? You hate Tuesdays? Tuesday nights reduce my payment by $50. So you want our son for money? I want my son and my money. You work Tuesday nights. I'll figure it out. Fighting over Tuesday nights not for time with kids, but for monthly reductions. Kids become literal paychecks. Each night with me is worth $12.50. I'll take 4 nights, please. What happens when custodial parent wrongly denies visitation? In theory, judge scolds them, contempt charges, makeup visitation ordered. In reality, maybe a stern talking to. Eventually, after lawyers get paid, after months pass, after kid forgets what other parent looks like. Meanwhile, kids learn their parents value money more than them. They learn they're weapons in a war they didn't start. They learn love has a price tag. Why can't I see Dad? He didn't pay. But I love him. Love doesn't pay rent. Or, why won't Dad send money? I won't let him see him. But we need food. Pride tastes better. Adults playing games with children as pawns, then wanting receipts to make sure the money's spent right. The money spent right when kids don't know their parents hate each other more than they love them. Everything else is just details, expensive, petty, soul-crushing details. Your Honor, she denied my Tuesday. Your Honor, he's only wanting Tuesday for the discount. Your Honor, make them stop. Judge considers early retirement. Kids need parents who love them more than they hate each other. Radical concept. Revolutionary even. But harder than cold fusion apparently.